Take a look outside. Did you know that they call Callisto the dead moon?
Ryan McCaffrey with IGN, joined by Kat Bailey. We are at Summer Play Days here, aka Keighley 3. One of the most impressive things, Kat, at Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Showcase this week was Callisto Protocol from Glenn Schofield and his new team over there. They clearly have a Dead Space vibe going on, very intentionally. Glenn, the co-creator of Dead Space, you got to sit down with him. What new stuff did you learn about Callisto Protocol?
I think the most interesting thing that I learned with Glenn was that it's going to be a lot bigger than it initially looks. A lot of people have been saying on Reddit, hey, this game looks like a Dead Space clone.
Right.
Dead Space with space zombies. But in fact, it's probably a lot closer to God of War than a lot of people think. It's going to have outdoor environments. It's going to have a lot of places to explore. There's going to be side content that people are going to be able to discover. And so my first thought was like, okay, like this is getting much closer to a modern vibe than the throwback that I was kind of initially expecting.
Yeah, I mean, and visually, it's got the gooey factor. It's gross. But what is your sense of that game in terms of the scope of it?
So one of the things that I talked about when I asked him about Dead Space was, he said explicitly, look, Dead Space is in a spaceship, right?
Yeah.
And so you got that claustrophobia going on. Whereas in Callisto Protocol, you are actually going outside. You are being able to venture around. The environments are going to be maybe more varied. And if I recall correctly, later Dead Space games definitely did get into that kind of thing. So Callisto Protocol will not just be, in a prison.
Right. Did Glenn talk at all about sort of lessons learned from the Dead Space years that are being kind of rolled into this game to make it hopefully more of an evolution than what we've seen?
What's interesting is that we ended up talking a lot about horror movies and horror influences. And he's a big horror guy, if you can imagine.
I would think so, yeah.
And one of the things he really enjoys is Korean horror, especially Korean zombie movies. He especially mentioned Train to Busan. And he said that one of the things that he really enjoyed about it is the animation, the way that they will move and everything. And I was like, well, okay, did that actually get incorporated in this game? He's like, oh yeah, definitely. So like you can maybe see more Korean horror influences being rolled into Callisto Protocol, which I think is pretty neat.
Any sort of parting thoughts, any other nuggets of wisdom you picked up from Glenn during your chat?
Yeah, no, the thing that I found really interesting about Glenn is that dude is just everything that you expect from him. He really loves horror movies. He really loves action. And one of the things that I found really interesting is I actually have asked about studio acquisitions because, he runs Striking Distance.
Yeah.
And it's an end of an era. He said, so many names that I've come to know over the years being absorbed. It's different now. It's an adjustment. So,
well, it's a survival horror gamer's paradise this winter, and this game, Callisto Protocol, will kick it all off December 2nd, if memory serves correctly. And we've got the Dead Space remake after that, and Resident Evil 4 remake after that. Kat, thank you very much. For more from Playdays and all things in the summer of gaming, keep it locked right here on IGN.
Welcome to your new home.